California last night put basically a stay-in-place order for the state of California. What that does, it allows for essential personnel, that's healthcare workers, fire, police, mail service, things like that, to continue. Grocery stores stay open. Pharmacies stay open. But they're going to encourage people to stay basically in place. Doesn't mean you can't go out and get some air, but they don't want mass congregation. What California has proposed is, in my view, constitutional. The health, safety, and welfare of your citizens is the highest priority of both local government or the federal government. Couple that with the fact that now New York, and I know the mayor there, the governor, was very reluctant to do this because of New York's economy, number one. Number two, because of the significance as a financial center. But he has decided that there needs to be some measures put in place, basically, so that the cities and the state can function appropriately. It's a little bit modified from California, but it is the same kind of situation.
There are extremes, and he said he's having to take one of the most extreme actions they could even consider for New York. So that's important to know that no one's going into this lightly. They're not making these decisions to try to hurt you or hurt your community. They're making decisions that they feel like are best. I think a lot of people have the best of intentions. We'll see how all of it shakes out. But I do think they're going at it from a place of just hoping that the spread of this virus can be tampered down.
There's hot spots. So California's a hot spot. New York's a hot spot. There may be others.
Sure.
And they will take action that is locale specific.
Areas where there's a lot of people in close proximity to each other.
Exactly. I mean,
that's really what it is.
6 million in Manhattan alone. I mean, right. It's a big number.
This creates greater buy-in, Logan, if the decisions are made closer to the people at the state and local levels. It also happens in a bipartisan fashion rather than a particular party's administration issuing an edict.
But people seem to genuinely be not only concerned for their own self, but concerned for their fellow people.
The president has just announced, so we want to keep you on top of this, that student loan payments are now deferred. And it wasn't just the interest. It's the actual payment. Tax returns have been taken back to July 15th. Even if you owe taxes, no penalties, no interest. Filing has been moved back to July 15th because a lot of folks can't meet with their accountants.
Last night, Leader McConnell introduced his version of the bill. This is the one that he negotiated inside the Republican caucus. His proposal, Jay, is $1,200 for every adult, so $2,400 for a married couple, joint filers, an additional $500 for each child dependent. And, Jay, it would be effective immediately. So I think that April 6th target date that Secretary Mnuchin hit, I think this bill would probably meet that.
Here's the way the Constitution sets this up. When the public interest is involved in the health, safety, and welfare of the citizens, which what this is, the test that the courts look at is there first a significant or, in this case, a compelling governmental interest for the restriction. So here the answer is yes. Once there is that determination that there's a compelling interest, is the method upon which you're trying to help meet the goal of that compelling interest reasonable? And it is deemed reasonable by medical professionals to limit social interaction so that the closing of small businesses or other businesses generally may well be part of that. Now, the president just said they're looking in the relief packages. I don't know if there's specifics on this yet for additional relief for small businesses.
There's $300 billion in what are being called loans to small businesses, Jay, but the purpose for those loans is for those small businesses to meet payroll, and if they meet payroll for 6 weeks as it's expected, those loans don't have to be repaid back. So $300 billion in this package. Jay, and I agree with something that was played in one of these sound bites. This is going to be a one-way ratchet. These provisions are probably going to all increase over the weekend rather than decrease, but we're starting at $300 billion for small businesses.
Yeah, so I think that look, those are the kind of smart, significant moves that the White House and the Senate, Republican and Democrats, are making that are having an impact. And I am pleased with those, and I'm pleased with the fact that our government is functioning the way the founders envisioned.
We just started a brand new page, and I think this is a good time to promote it before we wrap up the show today. It's called the Sekulow Community. And we'd love for you to just go over to Facebook and type in the Sekulow Community, SEKULOW, or just find it right on our Facebook page as well. So basically, during a lot of these troubling times, a lot of these times for organizations, for ministries, a lot of people are out there doing good work. A lot of people are trying to continue to do good work and figure out kind of what their future holds, whether it comes to churches having to meet remotely or people doing ministries even for the homeless during coronavirus. What does all this mean? And then some fun stuff as well. But people were sharing all this stuff with me and asking if we could use our platform, which I believe we should. At times like these, we should use our platform as much as we can to promote not only the work of the ACLJ, but of people doing great things and really inspirational moments throughout the world.